Hello boys and girls, today we're going to learn how to blend with oil pastels. So what you need is your worksheet, and the first thing you should do is you should write your name on it, because how else do you know whose it is if you have no name on it? And then the next step is you are going to read what it says here. So for the first one, for my waves, white, my blender, light blue, and dark blue. And what I'm going to do is I'm first going to start coloring this in lightly. I'm not going to color it in the dark blue all over, because with waves, they're not all one color, so you wouldn't necessarily see the same dark color all over. So I'm sort of sporadically coloring in. Then I'm going to go in with my light blue, and I'm going to fill in the rest of the space, trying to stay in those lines as best as possible. I know it's hard, but you should try your best to stay in there. I'm going to fill it in lightly again with light blue. So now I have it all filled in. So I'm going to take my other oil pastel brush in my hand, and I'm going to start coloring it in darker. So I'm going to start pressing harder with my oil pastel. You want to make sure that you have the color in lightly and that you're overlapping it before you start going in dark. And what I mean by overlap is that you're putting it over top of each other. So you're putting that dark color over top of that light color. Okay, so now I'm going to color it all in, switching between my oil pastels, pressing hard. Getting out of my lines a little, but that's okay. It's because I'm rushing. You'll probably get out of your lines too, but hopefully you're not rushing, because that wouldn't be good for your grade, would it? Oh. There we go. Now, I did not use one color. I did not use my white, my blender, as it said. So what you're going to go, in some areas where you have the dark and the light blue, you can use the white to blend it a little bit better, to mix those colors a little more. Now, I'm not going to use my white everywhere, just in some areas where I want to spread it out a little bit more. If you want, you can then go back in with your dark blue and make it a little better. So there are my waves. Now, I'm done with this one, so I'm going to go to my leaf. And my leaf, it says I need yellow as a blender. So here's my yellow, light green, and dark green. Now, if you notice, this green is really dirty, so what I can do is I can take a paper towel and I can wipe the dirt off of it from the other oil pastels. Oil pastels are really messy, so when they touch each other, sometimes they get their color on others. So you can just wipe it off, no big deal. Now my green is cleaner at the tip. So I'm going to once again color lightly with this. And I'm going to color all over this leaf lightly. So I'm going to blend and make a new color. I'm going to take this here, color lightly again. You're not pressing hard yet. And now here I formed a new green. Now I think I'm going to go back in with my dark, and I'm going to press harder now to add in my dark green and blend it to create that new green color. When you are doing these, you need to always go in lightly before you start going in dark. Because if I start pressing hard over here and pressing hard over there, is that creating the same nice color that I have there? No, it's not. It's a lot easier to go in lightly rather than like I just did. So if you want to blend them really nicely, light, 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 overlap, light, 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 and now go back in pressing hard. And you can see how it blends from the light to the dark rather than them just right next to each other right there. So now I'm going to take my yellow and use that to blend it in a little bit better. I'm just going to use the yellow to create the little veins of my leaf. Okay, last one now. Onto the fire. So I need yellow as a blender, I need orange, and I need red. I'm going to clean off my red because it's a little dirty. Okay, and with this I'm going to use all three. So I'm going to start coloring in lightly. Over Ooh, dirty there. Overlapping lightly still. You need to have that overlap to be blending from one color to another. You might want to go in again with an orange. And then I'm going to use my yellow lightly to overlap over the red now too. Okay, now I have it in there. I'm going to press hard. Now if you have these areas where you have the little chunks of the oil pastels coming off, you can just take your paper and shake them off. Okay, so here I'm going in pressing harder now. Now if I look at this, I don't really like the line that I have down there at the bottom of my fire, so I can use my yellow to blend it a little better, coloring over that. And you see how it's blending it in rather than over here where it's just standing out. So I'm going to go over that. There we go. And it's all nicely blended now. You are going to turn this in and put it in my grade me bin when you are all complete. Make sure you're taking your time and doing a great job.